Okay, I'm going to do a quick tutorial on Sonar X3. I'm going to show you how I set up my workspace. That way you'll understand how each of the tracks work and how to you set up like an audio track versus a MIDI track, and also how to set up your audio card or your audio output. Um, this will just be a basic tutorial on the initial setup of Sonar X3. Once you have everything installed. Okay, so what I do is I go to File, New, and then you can select from several different templates that are already created. You can do, like I think normal gives you like several audio and MIDI tracks. You can do like 16 audio or 16 MIDI. Let's just set up a normal. Let's just see what that says. And then we're going to set up a name. Let's just say test. And I hit enter. And it just sets up the, this is like what it looks like when you first start up a clean slate on Sonar X3. A lot of this stuff's helpful, like this section here. These are like windows that Sonar has set up, like presets, and they're helpful. I don't use them because I have a certain way that I set my stuff up, but you can feel free to use these. These are awesome if you use them, but I just don't use them. Some of these things I kind of toggle back and forth while I'm working anyways, so I don't end up using them at this stage, but I end up opening them later and setting them up later. So I just click this little double arrow to the left, and that collapses it, that window. Then I hit the double arrow there, and it collapses that window. And then if you hit the double arrow here, it'll collapse this console window. The console is basically like your mixer. I think I just yeah. If you double click one of these sliders, it'll set it back to 0. Okay, I'm gonna collapse that one too. You can also just exit out of that, and that one's gone. It's now you'd have to like load it back up from the toolbar up here. So actually, it's blank. There's no tracks are loaded, which is nice. Okay, there's two different ways you can set up insert a track here. You can hit insert and insert the type of track that you want. If you want to do audio track, MIDI, or synth, or a rewire, like if you have like Reason and Fruity Loops or FL Studio, you can rewire those to play to use their synths in Sonar. But let's just load up a audio track. I'm gonna right click. This is the other way to set up tracks here. So if you go to insert and open it, or you can just right click in this view right here, this plane, and insert the type of track that you want. So let's insert an audio track, and I'm going to expand it down a little bit so you can see kind of what's going on. One thing that kind of threw me for a loop when I first started this, I was missing a lot of the options. You got to click this little arrow here there for this custom, I don't know what this bar would be called, but I guess track control manager is what it's called. I go to all, and then everything's here. So this is your volume, how loud the track is that you're recording, your pan left and right, gain, your input, which this would be your audio card. Because I'm using because I'm doing a video tutorial, my audio card's like disabled. I'm using like a virtual voice meter, so you can hear the audio that I'm speaking right now and see the video of this screen here. Your master is the output, and normally your audio card would be here too. It would show you like your audio card stuff. So if you have whatever audio card you're using, it would show your input and your output here. Okay, and then also if you select this little arrow here, it opens up the audio bus. So you can select, like, if you wanted say recording guitars on one track, and you have like 2 or 3 different guitars, and you're recording vocals on 2 or 3 tracks, and you have drums on like 8 tracks. You can send those to a specific audio bus, and like I can name these anything I want. These audio buses here, I can name that master, or I can name it microphones. I can name the vocals, guitar, drums, whatever. And then you can set your output to those buses, and then you can toggle those. You can mute all the guitars at once or all the drums at once, and so forth. Okay, now say we want to record. What we would do is you would select. You have to click this button here. See how it like arms this track. So it's red. That button's red. And in order to hear your what you're playing or singing or talking, you have to select this button here. This is your monitor button, and that would let you hear back what you're singing or playing or so forth. Okay, I'm gonna deselect those. All right. Okay, let's load up a couple of tracks. Let's load up like 3 tracks here. Okay. One of the quick keys that I use is I just hit the F button, and just hit the F key, and it auto fills the space. It expands each of these equally, so it's the same size. And then if you click down here and hit F, it does the same. These you won't use a whole lot. Once you set everything up the way you want, you'll just want to collapse that, and then that way you have more workspace. And then to get it back, you just hit that. If you hit F again, it expands everything out so you can see it better. Okay. We're not going to do any recording in this tutorial. This is just going to be showing you the basics, how to set up your your initial workspace. Okay. All right, now let's say we wanted to delete a track. You're gonna want to select the track. Just click the number, and you'll know it's selected when you see the blue and then the track is highlighted. Okay. So if I do this, see how the track's not highlighted. The track is highlighted, but the blue button's not. And then this one, the blue is. If I deleted something, it would delete the wrong file. So make sure you click which one you want to be deleted. So let's delete this one, and you just like right click. You got to right click away from your works. If it's trying to select something, like see the up and down arrow here, it won't be the right place. You got to go to where your cursor looks like this. Right click and then hit delete track. Okay. And let's say I want to get rid of this one too. Just right click, delete. Okay. And let's say we want to add a MIDI track. We can add a MIDI. And I usually just expand it down until there's no more, options here. And that way I can kind of see everything that's going on. See like a little piano roll over here. I never used that. I don't know exactly what that does. I imagine it has a purpose, but I've never messed with it. So this is also the monitor for any MIDI input you have. So if you have a MIDI keyboard or a drum machine or something, this would let you monitor the sound coming from whatever source you're playing with. And then if you say you did have a MIDI keyboard and you wanted to play, piano or whatever, you got to make sure you arm that track or it won't record. Okay, you've always got to make sure if you're going to record something, you have that track, armed and ready to go. I've recorded a few times and forgot to hit that, and I wasn't actually recording anything. It was nothing, and that's it's frustrating when you record something you can't it's gone. You can't go back and listen to it. So okay, now let's hit F. See, those are both equally split up now. Let's say we wanted to add a synth. Okay, you click this expand arrow over here, click on your synth section, synth tab, and then you hit the plus button, and that'll let you insert a synth. Okay, you just keep going to each drop down. You don't have to click it, just click that once. You just hover over that, and it opens up the next window. Hover over that, opens up the next window, and you find the synth that you want. So let's say we wanted to get a piano here. These are the preloaded ones from Sonar. Okay, now that we've loaded the synth here, you'll see that it's got that. This is when you know a synth is loaded. It's got this piano here. This is a MIDI track. This is an audio. You'll see the audio waves. You know that's an audio. You know that's MIDI because that's the 80s style MIDI cable. And you know this is a synth because it's got the piano here. Okay. Now you can put MIDI tracks on a synth track, and it'll play. You know, use that MIDI input to play the synth that you've got loaded. Okay. Now I'm going to collapse that so I have more space here so I can see what's going on. You hit the hit the record, and then you know, you would, if you double click on the little keyboard here, if you double click it, it'll open up that synth, and now you've got the synth loaded, and you can, you know, play the synth. And if you have a MIDI keyboard or something loaded, you can play that. You can literally play the keys, and it'll play each of these keys that are on this. This is like a Rhodes, like an old school Rhodes piano sound there. And then you would record, and you know, and just hit play, and it would go. All right, let's call it on that tutorial, and I'm gonna load like a series of tutorials. So this is the basic, you know, intro. This is how to set up Sonar X3. The next tutorial, I'll do a tutorial on basic recording, and we'll record like an audio, a MIDI track, and a synth track, and we'll kind of go forward from there. So, anyways, all right, thank you. Later.